All right. This is Richie Contartesi with Seven Figure Commissions, where we bring on agency owners like Mr. Cody Fuqua, as well as sales reps, brokers, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people in sales that want to get better, that want to improve their game. So we're excited to have Cody Fuqua on the show today. He is an agency owner. He's been at State Farm for 7 years. He's got a team of 3. But like we kind of briefly talked about, he's always looking to grow and get better. So Cody, we're live, man. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Man, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Cool. Have you done any of these kind of shows before?
Not like this, man. Done a couple with some buddies, just some small ones, but nothing like this, man. I'm excited.
Cool. All right. So quick for the audience, because we want to dive into some of the things that we can get better at and some of the challenges. Real quick, what are you focused on as far as what you sell?
Yeah, I mean, we sell, State Farm, we sell insurance, personal lines, auto, home insurance, car insurance, and we're big on life insurance. That's probably my three, kind of the bread and butter of what we do. So I'll focus on those and bringing in as many households as we can with those products, and taking care of as many people as we can.
Gotcha. And are you mainly B2B or B2C, or do you also reach out to businesses or?
Yeah, I mean, I do business as well. I mean, we've got a really big business department in State Farm. I mean, any local small businesses, they've got to have, liability insurance and general stuff like that. And so, yeah, I'm all about connecting with local businesses as well. That's, some of the best because referrals are generated from that. So, yeah, we
For
do a
sure.
lot of that if we can, mainly personal stuff. But if I can get into businesses, I'm all about it.
Love it. Okay, cool, man. Well, let's jump into the meat and potatoes. What do you feel right now is one area in your business that you really want to improve upon, or that's a
Yeah, man.
challenge for you?
Yeah, good question, man. I would just definitely say we, and I've got a great staff right now. Staff is as a business owner is one of the most important things that we have. I've got a great team right now, and continually, growing that. I'm a big culture guy, and so I want to grow it within also the right mindset of keeping the culture that we have intact. From a personnel standpoint, that's kind of been some of the biggest challenges over the past 7 years. Is that I think at the end of the day, you get the right people. Um, with the right mindset, the right attitude, our products can sell themselves. But I would say personnel and getting the right people in the office comes down to some challenges for sure.
Got it. Okay. And now, do you have a local office, or does everyone work from home?
Yeah, I have a local office here in Franklin,
Got
Tennessee.
it.
A local office here. Yeah, storefront.
Okay. So real quick, tell me about your team. Who's on your team, and what are you trying to do what are you trying to grow? Are you trying to get more salespeople? Like what? Tell me a little bit about your team and what you're trying to do as far as
Yeah,
growth.
yeah, sure, man. Yeah, so right now got a sales guy, and I've got basically two sales, two service, kind of what I'm looking like right now. And always, the service piece is kind of you got to maintain that, right? As you grow, you've got a lot of households and a lot of customers, and you've got to take care of them. So I don't neglect that piece, but I'm a growth mindset guy. I'm always trying to grow and
That's why you're
sell.
here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I
it's
love
kind
it.
of instilled in me, and I'm always wanting to grow, and write more business and take care of more people. Right. So I've kind of got split half and half now, but right now I'm looking to grow in the sales area, add another sales team member that can acquire new business, and just, I call them hunters, just keep hunting.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, do you do the hunting right now as well?
I do a little. A lot of mine is referrals. So I've got buddies and friends or family or people that we meet. I write a lot of that. I'm not necessarily doing the actual hunting, reaching out, cold calling like my team is as much. I'm just buddy sends me a message, hey, can you quote up this, or hey, can you check into this, or we're buying a house, can you hook us up? I do a lot of just referrals. Is
Okay.
all I do at this
Is
point.
it is that because like you're already so full you don't even you personally can't take on any more clients, or is it you're focusing on your sales reps, you know,
Yeah.
building them up? Like what?
No, yeah, I'm always trying to coach them. That's
Got
my
it.
that's
Got
I
it.
see myself as it's we talked about earlier, sports and stuff like the coach versus player. Right, I'm trying to be their biggest fan and coach them up and give them. I try to feed them everything I can, right, as far as
Okay.
leads and things like that. And so, if it's a lead, if it's something that they can gain new business, that's what I try to push them that way. That's how they get paid, and that's where they generate their, their income. So that's the main reason is I want to see them successful, man. I really do.
Got it. I love that. Okay. And so the current sales reps that you have right now,
Mm-hmm.
are they how far away are they from capacity?
Yeah, I mean, it depends depends on the month, the week, the day. I
I
got
mean, are they selling at their potential at this point, or do you feel like
um,
they're
I've got one guy I've got right now. I would say definitely is he's producing
nice?
from like an application standpoint. I mean, right now he's hitting up 100 apps a month, which is from what we do that is very hard. Like applications, meaning cars, home, life,
Yeah.
doing very well with that. And so he's kind of taken it and run with it. And
So
so
he's hit the century on a
he is.
monthly
He's hit the
basis.
century. Actually, it's
I
crazy.
like it.
2 months in a row, and so he's on pace this month. And
Good job,
um,
man.
yeah, he
Good
is. He's
job.
really he's figured it out. I mean, that's what it comes down. He's figured it out, and but he's very good with people and
Hmm.
very good with just connecting. That's what sales
Okay.
is, and good at
Right.
that. So I would say, capacity for sure. There's some days I have to tell him to, hey, man, go outside, take a walk,
Right.
because he's does a lot.
Okay.
So he does a good job, and the other ones, they're not there, but they're getting there. So.
Okay. And so what do you feel like's holding them back?
Um, I think it's just they're a little bit newer. So just getting used to the systems and the processes, and it just takes time for them to learn it. I don't think
Well,
it's a
how
play,
many? So you have the one really good one, and then you said how many other salespeople
just
did you
one
have?
other. Yeah, one
Okay,
other
got it.
one.
Okay,
Not
so
counting me. So yeah, one other one. Yeah. Mhm.
got it. Okay, and so the other one's newer, kind of getting
Yeah.
the ball rolling.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to
Okay.
get it rolling, and doing a great job. It's just the capacity of just knowing how to keep your funnel full, knowing how to continue to, if the funnel's empty, you got to fill it back up, right? So just learning all those aspects, and it's just taking a little time. So.
Okay. Okay, cool. So as far as moving forward and building the team, what are some of the things that you've tried to do to bring new people on?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a recruiting service, not an actual recruiting service. I use State Farm. It gives different platforms we can use. I've got jobs posted all over the normal websites and stuff. But I'll be honest, a lot of success I've seen recently beyond that is just people that I know. I mean, referrals is, I'll be honest, that's a big part of my business. Being able to
Hmm.
get referrals from the business standpoint, but also from the hiring standpoint. I had a lady the other day that's a current customer that I
Hmm.
interviewed, right? She's actually part of our business, and, looking for an opportunity. So really trying to find success in that. Just when we're talking to people, my team, it's, they get to know them and find out about what they're doing, and let them know, hey, there's an opportunity here with Cody's office. And so we try to
Okay.
get better at that because I've seen success in that.
Okay, cool. I like that. Hey, by the way, do you know a Kirk? What's up, Joe? Hope you're doing well, man. Do you know Kirk Fuqua?
No, so
By
funny. So he actually used to be a State Farm agent. I don't know him. I know of him. Heard the name. But yeah, he used to
okay.
be in State Farm a couple years back, and I think he's in like Oklahoma or somewhere. But
Oh,
I
okay.
know who he is. I'm not related to him, but yeah, I do know who he is.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So,
Joe.
yeah.
Okay, cool stuff. All right, so you don't know Joe. All right, so let's do this. Do you have a pipeline for hiring sales reps?
Man,
So
my
only referrals. You haven't ran any ads. You're running Indeed. Um,
that's the basis,
yeah,
man.
he said he's a big State Farm agent out of Oklahoma.
Yeah,
By the way.
yeah. I think he used to be. I don't think he's anymore, but he used to be.
Oh, okay. He used
Yeah,
to be.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you just posting on Indeed. You're not running ads, anything like that, right?
And the stuff I'll do personal stuff every now and then, like on my LinkedIn. My LinkedIn, I got to try to get a really good job on there because that's business related. So I post a lot of personal stuff on there, but I'm hiring. But man, I'll be honest, that's an area that I'd love to learn and grow in.
Yeah. Okay. I love this. Okay, cool. So let's break this down. It's a little different than some of our normal ones, but I think this is a really good conversation that a lot of people are in the same boat as you,
Yeah.
right? And so the reason that I like to talk about this personally is because obviously I've hired sales reps for my own team and the clients that we work with, and also because we get a pretty high lead volume, a lot of people are looking for an opportunity, and so
Sure.
I know exactly what these people are looking for and kind of how to tag them. So
Yeah.
let's break down what your current numbers are, and then let's talk about putting a system in place for you where
Sure.
we can track these and get your team built up.
Yeah.
First
Okay.
question I have is, when they come in, do you do any type of like base or ramp up period? And do you provide the leads, or do you want them to come in and buy their own leads? How
Yeah,
does that
sure.
work?
Yeah, so a little bit of both, right? So what we try to do every time have a new team, especially the sales side or just any team member in general, it's come in with a hot list. We call it a hot list, and so it's friends, family, people that they know that don't have State Farm,
Yeah.
of course, but somebody that's outside of State Farm for their car insurance and their home and all that, and coming with the list, and we want to quote them up and see if we can have them out, right? So I always have them come in with a hot list. The more the better, right? On
Yeah.
the hot list side, so that's the first initial steps. That helps them a lot to where when they're calling their buddy up and having the conversation versus calling up a stranger right away, there's a learning curve there, right? And how they learn to get on the phone and all that stuff and just the conversation. It's better with somebody that because you can mess up, you can stumble, and it's okay. Versus a
Right.
stranger or someone that's maybe that's actually looking for some insurance.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's harder. So that's the first step, coming with a big hot list. And then once they exhaust that, yeah, I have, I buy a bunch of leads, especially at the beginning for the new team, internet leads, different avenues like that to where they can really, get after it with those.
Love it. Okay, cool. And you start them with like age leads and work their way up?
That as well. Have age leads. Yeah,
Okay.
we've got a bunker full of those, man, because
Okay. Okay, cool. I
over
got
the
it.
years I've bought a lot. And so ton of
Okay.
those. Honestly, we see a lot of success. Even
For
my
sure.
now they see a lot of success with age leads because it's a little bit easier conversation where an internet lead, they're getting blown up by everybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right. No, I think Joe made a comment here again that I think it's really powerful, which is like the hot list is frowned upon. But I think like as a business owner in general, the first thing you want to do is who is in your circle.
Sure.
And if you're confident enough in what you do and the ability to serve your people, then you should have the conviction to reach out to the people around you,
Right.
and share the opportunity. So
Yeah.
totally agree, Joe. And I think for you, as bringing that up, Cody, I think that's really important. So, now so let's talk about what your current numbers are as far as recruiting goes, and then let's figure out where we could potentially move the needle. So, you said you're posting jobs on LinkedIn. Man, my light keeps turning off. You're posting jobs on LinkedIn, you're posting jobs on Indeed and referrals, but you're not currently running any like Facebook ads or anything like that, right?
No, I mean I have in the past. Yes, I have done
Okay.
that.
All right.
Some, but not as much, man. To be honest,
Okay.
as other stuff. Yeah.
All right. So, how many? So let's just say in the past 2 weeks, maybe,
Mhm.
or for the month of March.
Sure.
Let's go on that. We have to do everything weekly, but for this sake, I think 2 weeks is good.
Sure.
How many leads have you gotten from your postings as far as like resumes and people applying?
Yeah, sure. It kind of varies. I would say, there goes
In the
through
past
spurts.
15 days, let's say.
Yeah, yeah. So I go through spurts that there's usually times I'll get one or two every day, new resumes on average every
Yeah.
single day.
Yeah.
Good, bad. Some of them not even worth looking at. Some of them really good. So
For sure.
I'd say a couple a day, but I love to get 5 or 10 a day.
Right. Okay. So let's say 30 this month, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many of those people have you actually like booked an interview with?
Yeah, quite a few actually this month. I've had let's see, let's just go from the month standpoint. So today's the 15th, halfway through. I've had 3 last week. I think 6. So 3 the week before, 3 last week. I've had any this week. So 6 out of those so far that I've actually sat down with, interview in person in my office.
Of those 30, how many of those people did you actually like have a dialogue with to schedule a meeting? I know you ended up getting 6 interviews, but how many did you actually have that dialogue with?
I've talked to all of them, right? So I
Oh,
always
wow.
call.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Got it.
always call the way I see them come across, and I look at the resume, but my biggest thing is I call them because I want to hear their conversation on the phone because a lot of what they do is on the phone, right? So, and
Yeah.
if I can tell within 2 minutes, like, all right, this person can have a conversation with me. I'm a stranger to them, right? And they're a
Yeah.
stranger to me.
Yeah.
And if they can connect right away and we can vibe a little bit, that's a good thing. So I do that initially. So I try to talk to all of them. And then if it carries on to the next, then I sit down in front of them and get them in the office and let's really dig into it. So,
Okay. So of those 6 that you interviewed,
mhm.
how many of them showed?
All of them. Yeah, all of them showed.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Which is rare. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes
Yeah.
it happens.
That
But yeah,
doesn't always happen.
yeah, it doesn't.
I was like, that's pretty. In today's day, it's pretty good, man.
Yes.
All right. So, what's your process after they've showed? You said you had them come in for
Mhm.
round 2?
Yeah, so after when they come in and sit down with, we talk more about the kind of nuts and bolts of the job. I have them meet the teams. I want them to see the team. I want them to have conversations with my team. They come in. I've got a lady at the front, and talk to her for a second and get to know her. And like if they can carry on that conversation, then I meet with them, and then have them meet with the sales team. At least say
Yeah.
hey. Just to connect because I want their input as well. They're a big
Yeah.
part of this office, and so I just want to see how they interact with everyone in my office, and then I get their input. I take my input from what I see, and then a lot of we kind of discuss it. If it's like, hey, this person thing can be great, we usually are close to be on the same page as that. Like they're like, oh well, this person I couldn't talk to him, so it's going to be
Yeah.
tough for them to sell insurance,
Okay. Got it.
But yeah, so
All right. So six. How many of those 6 made it to interview 2?
yes. So you mean like in person or
Yeah.
just like a second one?
Yeah, like the in person.
Yeah. So the six was the in person. So I talked to all 30 on the phone, like initially, like a phone interview, and it's just a short conversation. And then from there, I got 6 in the office.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's crazy. So of everybody that filled out an application, you were able to talk to them on the
Yeah.
phone?
I just
Eh,
call them up. I treat them as an internet lead. It's like a cold call for me.
Totally. It's
I
totally
call.
that's why I'm saying your connect rate is 100%.
Yeah.
Your booked interview rate is 20%, which
Yeah.
is pretty good.
And
And so that first interview that you have with them is in person then.
yeah, that is in person.
I
Because I'm just
see.
like, look, I gotta sit down with them. Like
Yeah.
I get a
Okay.
vibe on the phone, and if the phone
Okay.
vibes are good, all right, come on, come by and see me. Let's sit down. Let's talk. Yeah.
Okay. So of those 6, how many of them did you offer a job to?
So right now I've got 2. So the kind of way it works with insurance, it's like there's licensing involved, right? So
Yeah.
the only kind of what I do for my agency is there's 4 different insurance license. I require 2 out of the 4 before
Okay.
I say, hey, let's
Right.
rock, right?
Right.
So that's kind of a challenge sometimes. My biggest thing, and I've got 2 right now that are working on that, right, to potentially get their
So
license that
you
I
so
like.
you
Yeah.
offered 2 of them that, hey, you would bring them on
Yes,
of the
I'd bring them
6?
on, but it's all subject of them getting their
I get it.
license,
I
which
get
is
it. All
not.
right. So right. So you offered 2 of them,
Mhm.
and then of those 2, the next step is they got to get licensed,
Gotta
right?
get
But I
licensed.
guess I was just trying to figure out of the 6
Yeah,
that were in person, how many of those did you
yeah,
feel like that's a good fit for me? And you
yeah. It
say
was it was 2 out of
2?
6, and
Love
that's
it.
that's kind of a good number for me to be honest. Like usually it's 1 if it's 1,
Right. Yeah.
So
Your
yeah,
offer percent is basically 33%.
yeah.
And then of those, nobody's been licensed.
Not yet. No, they're working on it. It's
Okay.
just takes process, and that's the hard part. And they can say they're getting it, but that doesn't mean they are. I tell them, hey, just communicate with me. Let me know where you are because I'm always looking, and no one's going to walk in here with the license most of the time on an interview. Some do, and that's a good thing. Most of the time they have to get licensed. And
Right.
for me
Right.
personally, some agents like they would say, hey, come on in before. I've seen to where it's a challenge if they don't have it because there's not a ton they can do.
Hmm.
So my kind of steps are, hey, go get it's just 2 of the 4 that they have to get, the P&C, the property and casualty is what I have them get. And then it's like, hey, then come back and let's chat and see if this works out. So
Okay, let's look. I want to back up and look at your numbers on a little bit bigger of a scale,
yeah,
only because I think I see 2 things. So let's look at for the year. Okay, so take March out of it, January and February. How many total applications did you get
for all of that? Let me see.
this year? For this
This
year,
whole
take
year,
out
yeah.
March,
So
and I know you might have to look elsewhere. That's totally
hang on.
fair.
I can tell you real quick. Let me see.
I just think I have an idea. Something popped in my head, but I do want to.
Okay, let me tell you real quick. Let me get on this. Okay, let's see. So let me tell you exactly, actually. So let's do February.
January through February, yeah.
January and February. Okay, let's see. All right. So February, for the whole month of February, I had you mean just people that applied?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 37 for the whole month of February, and January was 22 that actually applied for a position. Yeah.
All right, perfect. So that is 59 people. And how many of those 59 did you actually end up talking to?
Interview. Okay, let's see.
That you actually called and you were able to have some sort of connection with them.
Talking to. Okay, actually, so I'll look at. Oh man, I'll look to see which ones. I always put like decline or something if I didn't reach them. So let me see how many of those that over those 2 months.
Perfect.
So
I love it, man. I love it how you got your stuff.
Yeah, dude. No, I got to, brother. So for February, out of the 37, I did not talk to 12 of them.
Okay.
So 25 I had conversation, like I talked to on the phone, and I'll tell you how many. And out of that,
wait, hold on, really quick. 59. Yeah. So you had 4. So you connected with 47. How many of those did you book an interview with?
Yeah,
Not came into the office, but did you book the interview?
Yeah. Let's look at it real quick. All right. So for that, I haven't hired any, so I do know that. None of them are in here. So I do
That's
know
okay.
that number,
That's
but
okay. I think it's a simple fix for us.
yeah, so in person, out of that 47. So 8. Yeah.
Okay.
I had eight.
Oh, so you got really good at that in the past. Okay. And then how many of those 6 or how many of those 8 showed?
Yeah, all of them. All 8 that usually most time they're
Good job, man.
And again, trust me, that's not normal. But yeah, this year
how many of those 8 did you offer?
So there's this guy. I think just one, to be honest. Let me look here. Yeah, this John. Yeah, just I've offered one.
So let me ask you.
License.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to do really quick is I want to combine these because like I'm a huge fan of looking at numbers over time.
Yeah.
But because we don't really have that, and your scenario here is a little different. I want to get a bigger bird's eye view. So let's see. This is 14. 8 plus 6 is 14. I love your show rate, man. Dang. I know there's some people watching right now that don't have that show rate.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. That's not every single time. I think this year's been pretty good on that. I think.
Yeah, the show.
Yeah.
So your connect percentage is 86%. So for anybody watching this right now, if you're trying to hire and an application comes in, you gotta call them. It's just like an inbound lead. Like if you're running ads and you're not calling your inbound leads, man, 2 years ago, we'd never called any inbound leads at all. And we just, if they booked a call, great. If they didn't, they just went into some email thing. Yeah. We call all leads now because there's so much opportunity in there and you're doing an awesome job, dude. Like, I love that, Cody.
Thank you.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Your booked interview percentage is 18%. So 77 connections, 14 booked interviews, that's 18%.
Yeah.
And that could be a lot of things. I think that's probably 20% is where you want to be because you're going to be weeding out a lot of trash. The reason that percentage matters, though, is because where are the bookings that are bringing you the best quality coming from? Are they coming from Indeed? Are they coming from, so that's something I might want to, I'm not sure if you're tracking that, but that might be something.
Yeah, majority. I think most of them are Indeed. I'll be honest. Most of them are
Okay.
that. That's the platform. I will say, like I said, the one that I had last week was actually I told you a customer of mine, right? So that one is the only one out of those that was like a referral.
As far as the ones you've offered, are you talking about the offer?
The ones that came in, the ones that came
Okay.
in, they all of them were from Indeed, all of them, but there was one that was not Indeed. It was just a current customer of my business.
I see. Okay. Okay. Totally get it. All right. Show rate, awesome, man. So when it comes to the offer, like you've had 14 interviews and 3 offers. Walk me through real quick in 60 seconds,
Yeah.
because that's only 20%.
Mhm.
Where do you feel like what's happening there? Because it could just be lead quality, or what do you why 14 in-person interviews, only
Yeah.
3 offers?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of this is I'm been doing this a long time, and I look for a lot of intangibles, and a lot of what I do with this is I can teach. I feel like I can teach people how to sell car insurance, home insurance, life insurance. It's not the actual product. I look for personality. I look for
Totally.
communication skills. I mean,
Yeah.
no joke. When they walk in and I've got a lady at the front, I can. My office is not that big, and so if I can't really hear you having a conversation with her because she's very outgoing, she's very good at what she does, and like she can talk to anybody, and I can if that person can't talk to her initially before they even get to me, right? That's going to make it tough. I'm looking for a big personality, someone that doesn't know a stranger, because these products that we sell are not that hard, but you got to
Right.
be able to talk. And maybe I'm picky in that aspect, and I can know when they sit down in front of me right here, I can know probably within 5 minutes of like, hey, they got what it takes, or it's going to be tough. So,
Mm, okay. So 11 of the 14 you just said they're just not gonna. It's not necessarily a fit as far as meshing with the team versus are they gonna be, am I willing to coach this person to success type
yeah, and
thing.
a lot because being that most of I look for it's sales. I mean, it's every time I hire someone, they come in with that mindset of, hey, we're going to be able to sell and add new business. So I can tell pretty quick of like, hey, it's not necessarily about the product, but like you got to be able to talk and have a really good conversation with people and really get to know them.
And
Even
what are
on a
they?
personal
Yeah,
level.
what are they? Oh, by the way, Hunter says legend. By the way,
Yeah, he's
FYI.
he's one of my guys actually.
Oh,
So
okay.
he is the century mark. That's him. So give him a shout out for
Oh, okay. Hey, listen, everyone, real quick. Hunter, how do you pronounce his last name?
Coke. Yeah,
Cope. Listen,
yeah.
this is a century. 2 back-to-back months hit the century mark. So
Right.
props, mad props.
Yeah,
Um, awesome. Okay, so all right. So wait, what? So frick, I had something really good to say, and I forgot what you said there.
yeah,
So
no, going back to the personality, I mean, just we're talking
okay, okay,
personality,
yeah.
yeah.
All right. So personality. Yeah, I mean that's just a lot of in-person interviews for
Yeah.
only 3 offers.
Yeah.
I mean, what are your thoughts there? Do you feel like
Yeah. I've done this long enough, and I've had the salespeople I've had in my office. I've had some really good ones, and the but I know the success that the good ones have.
yeah,
It
yeah,
literally is. It just I don't care what their resume says. I don't. To me, what's on that it doesn't matter as much because this is communication. This is conversation. This is connecting with a stranger. I tell my team, you can be whoever you want to be on a phone call, right? Like you can be whoever you want to be, and this is in reality like you don't see that person, they don't see you, especially initially. And so, like, hey, like you just connect with them. You got a short window to get them on the phone, get them interested, and then you have to take the conversation. And at the end of the call, you're wanting the business, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like that's what you're wanting, but
yeah.
you got to do all the legwork to do that. And so, if you're not good at the beginning of like, hey, my name is Cody, I'm with State Farm, what's going on? And you got
Right,
to
right, right,
connect. You got 15 seconds, and if you can't do it, like it's hard. And
right, right,
I
right.
look for that in an interview almost like the same thing. They got about 15 seconds. Can they come in and like, can we connect in
Okay.
15 seconds? Because then the interview goes pretty well, and I probably am offering the job. So,
Right.
yeah.
So there's 2 things. One is one thing is what is the job postings say? Because I mean, not necessarily, because you're getting interviews. So that's a thing. I mean, let's talk about the offer of these 3
Sure.
people. None of them have been licensed.
Yeah.
What's the offer that you're making?
Yeah, I mean, so you talking about like just from like the salary standpoint, or just what do you mean like?
Yeah, I mean, well, because like to me, if they showed up and there's 3 of them that you're like, I want this person on my team, we got to sell them, right?
Sure.
So
Right.
what's the sell?
Yeah, for sure. So it depends on like, with what I do, like even I'll just give you an example for Hunter and some of the guys I've had, like it's a lot of them come in if you want to be a small business owner, this opportunity comes from this, okay?
Okay.
From being a State Farm agent. There's opportunities that you can come into this, learn, grow under an agent. That's what I did. I worked for an agent for a couple of years, and I was one of his sales guys, and I learned how to sell the products. I learned the business acumen from him, and the being able to get an opportunity just to open up my own. And so, like with Hunter, the kind of the same approach is like they come in like, hey, you come in, and I'll teach you how to do this. And if you want to go own a business one day, like the path is here with State Farm, right? And so that's a lot of guys I get in, that's the path they jump on. As far as like, hey, do you want to be a small business owner? Right? It's not for everyone, and some can say they want to do it, but it's not easy. And so that's initial for a lot of in the sales role is like, hey, that's there. You don't have to do it. You can get someone that comes in, they can be with me for 20 years, and that's great. And they just want to sell insurance and they love what they do. But a lot of it, I'll be honest, initially, I use the same approach as I had as I'm going to come in, I'm going to learn this, and I want a chance to get to open up my own. And so that's a big route a lot of sales team members take. It's called the agent aspirant program, and they try to hop into that. And so that's one route for sure.
Okay. So when it comes to so the offer is the opportunity, right? The opportunity for 2 routes. One is to work for you, get coached by you, exceed, make a specific income, XYZ.
Right.
The other opportunity that you're selling is just a biz op in general, which is, when I say biz op, it's just like, hey, here's my opportunity to own a business and get started in a few weeks, right? Like get licensed fast, get the ball rolling. Right. So I guess the one thing I would want to look at is obviously you're asking them which route they want to go, because you're basically doing an in-person sale, right? Like if the person's the right fit, you're going into flip mode to pursue them, to get them on your team. Am I okay?
Yeah, absolutely. That's 100%. Yeah. I mean, I definitely have to talk about the opportunity, and, I do a little selling myself.
For sure. So of these 3, what is that you've made the offer to? What did they want? Were they looking more for biz op, or were they looking more for, I want to be in sales and be coached by Cody?
A lot of it's the sales, the latter. Yeah. I mean, because the biz op, I'll be honest, man, like there are out there, and there's like ones that are on that can do that I can sit there and say, I mean, and I don't know right away either. So this isn't something that I always just present like, that's what this opportunity looks like. That's there. I don't know if that person's going to be able to do that right away. I mean, they've got to come in, they've got to prove themselves. They've got to, be able to hit certain numbers and show the characteristics that it takes. So I can, in an interview, I can say that guy or that girl's got potential for that. I don't know. But to answer your question, the 3 that recently, they're just more of just a career opportunity to work for a small business, a local agent in Franklin, Tennessee, and to help grow their business. That's out of those 3, that's the route they were looking at.
Okay. And so did you feel like they walked out and said, I have to do this, I got to be on Cody's team?
For that route, for this, the opportunity, it's probably not. The ones that do are the ones that, hey, yeah, I really want to be an agent. That's the ones that usually are quicker to it. That's the ones that like, oh yeah, like this seems great, versus the other ones. The other ones are kind of like, oh, this seems great. I got to get a license though, and that could take a month to get a license. And
you could do it fast. Come on.
Oh no, I've had people do it fast. I'm just saying, in reality, like, it's just like
I see.
It takes them a while, but yeah, I've had some get it all knocked out in a week.
Right.
So right. Yeah, but
Totally. Okay. So, okay. So, but I'm saying for these last 3 that you've offered, do you feel like they left saying, I've got to be on Cody's team?
I would say out of the 3, I would say 2. I would say 2 really loved the opportunity, and how I know they'll follow up. Their communication's been very good since, and there's some that are working on. I know 2 out of 3 right now are working on that, and they're excited about it. But I've also heard that before, so it's me
Right.
having to understand that, hey, awesome, like get it and keep me updated. But I would say 2 are really excited about the opportunity for to work for a small business like
Yeah.
this, and so
Okay. Okay. So if 2 out of the 3 are super pumped up and
mhm,
communicating, your pitch is probably really good.
yeah,
So if your pitch is really good, is there anything that you feel like you could do when they leave as part of helping them get the license? Are you currently doing anything in that area right now to ensure that they get it or drive that for them in any way?
yeah. No, good question. So what we do, like a lot of the license for state insurance, it's their own online test. So they buy an
Totally.
online package and they
Yeah.
just study, right? So a lot of it's self study. So a lot of that it depends on their availability, right? And at night, if they've got a current job, just finding time. And so I just like I said, I have them communicate with me, keep me updated. And the ones I know are very interested, they'll either shoot me a text the same day saying thank you for this opportunity, or they'll send me an email, or they'll be very responsive very, very quick. And so they'll say, hey, I'm starting to study right now. Like I'm getting on it right now. And I can get a vibe pretty quick when they step out of this office. Okay, that person, they're really going to get on it quick. Or some that don't get on it very fast. But it's also hard to tell sometimes. I can get a good vibe,
Okay.
but
Got
that
it.
doesn't mean,
Got it.
yeah.
So
So
let me ask you a question. Because, like, here's the thing, man. In insurance, you can work anywhere,
yeah,
right? Like,
sure.
you can get an insurance job. Anybody can get an
There's lots of
insurance
them.
job. Yeah. Um, but the idea is it's you, right?
Mhm.
They're buying you. They're
Right.
being, so do you do any type of, like, I know you have, so after they leave, it's like, okay, the ball's in their court.
Right.
They're gonna go and start doing the training, right?
Mhm.
Um, and then if they do it and they pass it, then they come back and they tell you and they take the test. If they get the test, then they work for you, right?
Yeah,
And
perfect.
the communication from there is essentially working back and forth, just giving you updates on where they're at with it,
Yeah, and
right?
absolutely. Another thing too, after that second, let's just say this. So after the second one, I always offer them to come by and shadow. Okay, that's another step that I've actually recently seen a lot of success in. Actually, my last hire, lady, she did that. Is interview, really liked her, wanted to come by, and she came by and shadowed my team I had at the time and sit down with each of them. And some of them have different roles in the office, but sit down with each of them and just kind of watch what they do, kind of pick their brain a little bit, see what they do, and get a vibe for their days. And the ones that request that, like one of mine right now, out of my 3 that I've offered, one's actually coming by next week for that. And it's going to sit down and going to shadow my team, and I have honestly haven't done that very much, Richie, in the past, but I've seen a lot of success with that. Just as of recent, of just being able to, like, hey, that person usually come by and shadow. They'll like my team. They'll like the environment. They'll like the vibes of the office. And
There,
I've
now we're
seen,
talking. You get a chance to show them.
yeah. And so
There's a
that,
difference between telling people and showing
right.
people.
That's huge. Yeah, it
I
is.
love that. Okay, cool. So let's incorporate the shadow.
Yeah.
And here's one thing that comes to mind, right? I think your volume is low,
Yeah.
right? Like 89 applications. You're
Mhm.
doing such a good job of getting them going. Your
Yeah.
connect rate, which means your activity and your willingness to go get them, is amazing. It's
Yeah.
like this last piece. So here's a thought, Cody, and just something
Yeah.
just for sake of time that has come up is if these 3 people, and again, I think we should make that one a week, right?
Yeah.
So it's a volume thing on the front end. So
Sure.
that's a conversation for future. But these people, they're when they're excited about the opportunity, they're buying you, the fact that they know that Cody's gonna help them get to the promised land,
Sure.
right? So during your interview, I'm assuming you're finding out what their promised land is, right? What's their North Star? What's their end result? Okay.
Right.
And so there's a belief, Cody, that they believe you're going to get them there. And one thing that I've really learned as a coach is that you can tell people things that you do, and you can show them how it's done. And I think the having them come in is a way for them to see your environment, right? And to take it a step further, what I've seen a lot have success with is coaching them through the licensing on a weekly basis. And that's my offer to you, Cody, is not only am I going to coach you every week when you're here, and I'm going to dissect your KPIs, and I'm going to find ways that you can improve, and I'm going to do everything in my power to get you to this goal.
Yeah.
But as you're even getting started, I'm more than happy to work with you the first few weeks and coach you through this and make sure you get your license every single week. I'm going to meet with you. Or you can come into the office.
Yeah.
Would you want that as part of what we do here? Does that sound like something, what's Adam? Does that sound like something that would work for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. Perfect. Yeah. So what is your first step in getting your license? Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Let's schedule a time next week where let's have a 30-minute, 45-minute coaching session. Let's talk about what you did that week. What was the curriculum like? Just walk them through it and then coach them through it. And, hey, or a question maybe, Cody, how long would you like to get this test done? Do you want to get it done in 3 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks? How long do you think, Cody?
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I mean, yeah, I've never really thought about that, because it's kind of like it's, being able to help coach them through that, because it's like, they're not hired. They're not on my team yet, but it's like, hey, this is me showing interest in them, and like, hey, let's get through this, and let's,
right.
I really
And your pitch when you're making that offer is it's so critical that it's basically a sale, right? There's a discovery, and then you're holding posture, and then it's, well, okay, here's my offer to you. Right. And then you can ask, like, well, how long, well, you can ask all the things, like, what are the things you're not doing in your life that you should be? Boom. Okay. Why aren't you doing those things? Okay, cool. If you did those things, what would your result be? Okay, cool. What if you did those things consistently? What would your result be? Okay, cool. What would you do if you did those things consistently and you approved upon those things every single week? Where would you be? Okay, well, as part of being on my team, our standard is the century mark.
Right.
And my goal is to work directly with you and coach you every single day and week in a fun way to make sure you get there, right? If that's what they want, whatever, because I would assume if they don't want that, you probably aren't going to spend the time to go through this with them anyways, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't. So, so at that point, it's like, okay, cool. Well, how long do you want to do the testing? I want to do it in 3 weeks. Okay. Well, I'm going to map that out for you. And we're going to talk about what you're going to do. And I'm going to meet with you every week, and I'm going to coach you and hold you accountable to that. Is that something that you'd want? Oh my God, you're actually going to do that for me? Yeah. But you got to tell me now that you're 100% committed.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Schedule it. It's on the books. Schedule all 3 of them.
Yeah.
So now there's an accountability layer there. And within a week, you'll know. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on?
No, man, I like that. And that's... I've never done that, right? And I don't know why I really thought about it like that, because I usually when I tell them about the license, I say just go get it, keep me updated. But you're right, that's not really. And the difference is, I guess, because I've seen, if I really like them and we vibe very well, I feel like they just do it right, versus, and that's it, and they get us out. But there's some, you're right, that I could do that with, and probably have landed more people just because I'm assisting them and helping them walk through that licensing process. And I've never asked, but I do like that. I really do.
It's just like, how many people have told them, yeah, I'm going to coach you, I'm going to help you. And then they get into the job and the person's gone.
Right.
Because I've had that experience.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So it's like an opportunity for you to like do like like a trial of some sort. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, see how this works.
Yeah. And like me starting coaching ahead of time, like showing like, hey, yeah, this is what I was promising you I'm going to do and help you when you get here. But hey, even before, as the licensing's going, I'm coaching you through that. So, and they can get a vibe for me maybe a little bit, and even we get to know each other a little more. So yeah, I like that.
Okay, cool. I know we only got a couple minutes here, so we always got to end with what's your next play, the what, the how, and the when for you to go and implement this. If this is something that you feel like is gonna be beneficial, what would be the what, the how, and the when for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's I can even think right now the two I've got right now that are interested, I can start that now with them. I think of just like, hey, even calling them up tomorrow and be like, hey, were you just checking in where you at with it? And hey, let's move this along. Let me help you guide you through this and try to set the dates and set the times. And so I can even work on them tomorrow as fast as that.
And it's not like they're not going to be go-getters and hard workers. They might just have other things and they need that accountability, right? It doesn't matter. Like Tom Brady needed and wanted accountability after he won 4 or 5 rings. So it's like, I hate when people were like, oh, well, then they're not going to be successful, because it's like, no. It's like people have things going on, and if you want them to pay attention to your opportunity because they're being drilled with hundreds of Facebook ads and Instagram and all these other billboards in their face, you want them on then you got to coach them and you got to hold them accountable to it.
No,
okay, so all right, so you're gonna reach out to the two, and you're gonna call them, and just don't even share what you're doing. Just do a coaching session because it's kind of too late. And then after, see where they're at, and then schedule the next one for a week out. And then, hopefully your question on these for tomorrow is going to be, when do you want to pass this thing? And then let me create a plan for you to get there.
I like that. And it's the same approach even with my team in office now, the accountability piece, right? I check in with them. I don't go within 2 or 3 weeks without checking them. I check on them every day, So it's like, even though they're not in my team, it's like still checking in once a week and helping them, guide them. And it definitely, hopefully will help. So
they'll love you for it, man, because no one else is doing that.
Right.
Except for everyone listening to this call now.
Right. Exactly. I love it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, Cody, hey man, it was an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. I hope you had a good time. For all of you that are still watching, if you want to be a part of 7-Figure Commissions, shoot me a direct message. Would love to have you on. If not, I'll see you all tomorrow on the next episode. Adios. See y'all later.